Well, I don't know if I'm in the minority of it, but I do truly love driving the Cup car. But more than anything, I'm very fortunate that Matt Collick, Chris Rice, all the men and women at Collick Racing really believe in me and want me to drive their race cars, whether it's Xfinity or Cup, to try to help the programs. You know, last year, Matt and Chris wanted me back in Xfinity to try to help that side of it. We got some great young drivers on that side now, and come back to the Cup program and just we're early in the Daytona 500, but so far in speed weeks, we've shown a lot of speed. Our Celsius Chevy, I thought we had a shot to win the duel. So all the work in the offseason so far has just been working well. Hopefully we can have a smooth race, put ourselves in position to try to win this thing at the end of it whenever we get back going. But, you know, I just love being a part of the Cup Series. And, you know, hopefully we can get this program where it needs to be, win some races, be in the playoffs.
Well, it's a welcome back. We're always happy to have you.
Thank you.
Josh.
We're here with Todd Gilliland, the new driver of the 34 car, but still with front row, and you got a couple new teammates in Zane and Noah. But what's it like being the elder statesman now, even though you're, what, in your early 20s?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question, right? I don't know. It's just been really nice, right? Getting you know, the right people in the right places. I feel like this off season, it's been interesting adding another team, right? With Noah Grigson, the 4 car coming over. So yeah, luckily, you know, most of their team stayed together. Noah's shirtless right now in the background. And then, yeah, most of my team stayed on the 38. So, yeah, just nice to kind of build a team from scratch. And, yeah, I feel like we're ended in a really good place. And, yeah, like you said, right, we're first day on track with the Loves colors in actual race. Obviously, wish we could have kept going there and get going, but I feel really good about our car and the speed that we have. So, long race ahead of us, and just really thankful for, you know, all the hard work from Front Row Motorsports over the off season. We're just saying we're hungry. Maybe we could go to Love's, get some snacks, but yeah, overall, I'm really excited for the rest of this race, whenever that is.
Well played with a sponsor there. So, you know, we were talking earlier about the fact that, you know, at these super speedways, obviously earlier last year you qualified on the front row, and when you come here and you walk away without winning, you're disappointed about it. You know, there was a time where you're just trying to finish the race. What's it like to be at a place where you feel confident coming here that you can win these?
Yeah, it feels really good. As a driver, I think that's really all you want, right? Is when you go to the racetrack to, you know, I guess selfishly, right, want the fastest car there, whether it's, you know, getting the pole or anything. And, you know, for us last year, that was, you know, majority of the time at the super speedways. We're still working on the rest of it, but it was still really nice. That was a massive step for Front Row Motorsports.
Let's see how long it takes for me to get in
dark
trouble.
horse Mustangs are fast, and I felt we had a few missed opportunities last year, whether it was, you know, Michael in the 34, you know, leading a lot of those races coming to the end, and then for us, you know, we were kind of in contention for a few of them. So, yeah, all you can do is learn from those, you know, not mistakes, but just situations, right? Everything seems to happen differently every single time, and just have to be prepared for whatever. So, yeah, overall, our speed is still there this year, and I feel very capable, you know, car-wise of winning. Just have to have everything go right.
Well, appreciate your time. Go get yourself something to eat now. Regan?
Well, Josh, I don't know of anybody that's happy about the rain right now. I found the one guy anywhere, though, that is currently Carson Hocevar. A little bit of trouble early on in the Daytona 500 for you. You guys had a fuel pressure issue, so this rain's a good thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was a really good thing. Aaron Ziegler, our CEO at Ziegler Auto Group, anytime he shows up to race, it rains every time, and I've never been more happy for him to be here and it rained. Lost fuel pressure like lap 4. Literally going around there, I'm like, we get to lap 5, it's a net positive from where we were last year. I roll around the lap 4, I'm counting laps down, and it just loses power in 1 and 2. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So luckily we had this small issue at the Clash about fuel pressure, so I learned of what to do if you had that issue. We flipped to number 2, and we're going to be okay, and just now we don't have that reserve. So it's going to put a little bit more stress on my guys, a little bit on fuel strategy when we're late in the race, and I'm going to step to the right because McDowell's like making fun of me probably.
A little photo bomb there.
Yeah, I know. And Justin's already walking up, little guy with a cowboy hat. I love my teammates, but I'm excited, ready to go. But yeah, especially happy. He's on a step, by the way, still shorter.
I thought you were the guy that wears hats all the time. I know that's been in years past, the hats that you would wear, and now you've got your teammates wearing them there.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I have that effect on people, it seems like, and especially there. What an ugly looking fella right there.
And when I came to find you a little while ago, your team told me Carson's busy right now, and I said, well, that's okay. We're live TV. He needs to just come out here and take a break from what you're doing. Help me understand what you were doing in the middle of the afternoon. You are in your hauler iRacing. You were just on the real track racing, and now you're iRacing in your hauler?
Yeah, I have a hauler in my rig, or a sim rig in my hauler. I'm literally, the second I'm done, I'm going to go play iRacing and live stream it. C-Fix, Talladega, because I wreck too much stuff. I don't even have an A license to run the Cup car, so I'm going to run trucks and go have fun with that. And we have it set up that all my guys in the lounge can watch it. So throughout the duels and everything, and throughout the week, they've been yelling and screaming, high, low, block. And then when I wreck or we win, everybody's pumped. So that's literally what we're going to do. And then I have this specimen to my right that we were playing World Outlaws last night. And my race is about to start. All right, I got to get going here in a minute. Priorities, right?
All right, well, Carson's got a race getting ready to start, but Justin Haley's out here right now. So, Justin, you've been lurking over here the whole time, so now it's our turn to grab you and let your other teammate lurk. It appears you guys are all getting along well to start the new year.
Yeah, we're great. Everything's good.
Tell me about this. Tell me about this get-up that you've got right here. It is quite the outfit, and I can tell you, I've never seen a driving uniform quite like this before.
I mean, I look great. It's hard to make me look bad, but I look pretty good this week. So, big shout out to Chili's Ride the Dente. Had a fast car all weekend. I wrecked the primary. Got wrecked. I want to say I wrecked, but I definitely did wreck. The crew, everyone at Spire Motorsports did a great job getting the backup car ready. Got a fresh one in. It's actually my Clash car. Felt good out there, so yeah, been having fun.
Hey, do me a favor. Your other teammate, Michael McDowell, he's in there still right now. Oh, let's open this. Let's open this door up real quick, and we'll see. Now Michael's not lurking now. He's up in here he's in the refrigerator getting food. Michael, every time, Michael, that I am around you, food seems to be involved this week down here in Daytona. We've got a little. Well,
you don't get to this size by not eating.
That's a valid point, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm not growing as tall as you are, though. I'm growing out right now.
I was actually grabbing a Celsius because, as you know, we got a little bit of delay here, and you got to be ready. We got to be ready to go later on. So this is going to be that last little pep that I need to get to Go Bowling Chevrolet to the front.
I might need to borrow one of those to get that last little pep, but right now I want to direct our eyes over here. We got a little camera on the side here, and we're talking about you and I eating, and I think we might have gone and found some burgers.
We ate.
Tour of Daytona continues
at the Daytona Tap Room with 2021 Daytona 500 winner Michael McDowell. Does it seem like it's been that long ago?
Yes and no. Like, it doesn't really feel like it's been that long ago. But you know how these seasons are. They're a grind, too. So you're like, it's time to do it again, for sure. I know that.
I'm looking at these burgers, and I got to tell you something. That Big Richard burger looks pretty tempting to me. How about you? What you going with?
I think the Fat Elvis. I've never had peanut butter and grape jelly.
Oh, I didn't see all of that.
On a cheeseburger.
This ought to be interesting.
But it should be good.
With mayo?
Right? Because peanut butter and jelly without mayo doesn't work.
You ready to do this?
To winning.
Cheer. Hey, to another one for you.
Yeah, let's do this. Holy cow. It's going to be a big bite.
I got to go to the gym just to be able to lift this thing.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Oh my
It's got peanut butter jelly in it. There's no way I don't wear this.
This is good.
Oh, I don't even know where to go with that. The one thing I just learned in that piece, Michael, you're definitely more intelligent than me, which we knew that already coming in this, but the steak that they had in the middle of the toothpick, I didn't even realize when we were doing that. You took yours out to eat it. I was trying to work around mine, and it didn't go so well, but a lot of fun at the tap room there.
Man, and it was good too, wasn't it? Like, never in my life did I think that, two grilled cheese, peanut butter and jelly, and a burger together would be so good, but it was awesome.
There was a lot of ingredients mixed together there, and I can tell you, I will never make a cheeseburger again without putting grilled cheese on the outside of it because it was fantastic, and we had fun. We lacked one thing. There was other beverages there that were obviously not. We weren't indulging in those, but what a great spot!
It was a great spot, and that was the first time I've gone there. I know it's super famous here in Daytona Tap Room, so we're definitely going to be bringing the family back there.
So. Let's talk about your bowling just a little bit. I think you made a nice little tweet about what you would like to be doing right now, and is that your form right there?
That honestly, that is my form. I mean, you see and hear the ball every time that I'm throwing it. It has a lot of air before it lands. It usually lands about, I would say, halfway down the lane before it actually hits and picks up momentum. So yeah, I got to work a little bit on that spin, but I really just go with the big chunk, high velocity.
You know somebody else that has that same form? Who? I think Chris Myers. Chris Myers has that same form. Chris, you and Michael, you can go bowling together at some point.
I'll give it a shot. Bowling, you got a guy ready for a rodeo, and we're all ready for a race.
Pickleball.
So yeah, pickleball is fine. You play pickleball?
Just like once a year when we go out to Phoenix.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
All right, 2021 champ is here, and Kyle Larson was great on the pre-race show we saw when you sat down with Clint Boyer. All right, so I think you called this. I used your quote. Daytona 500 a crapshoot. So you're coming into this. How do you how do you give it your best shot?
Well, we are also in a backup car, so we had to start in the back. And I think for us, and really no matter where you kind of start, I think fuel saving is very important to try and have a good execution of pit road to cycle your way to the front. So it's really hard to pass. As it gets three lanes, you can't really pass. So you got to do what you can strategy-wise to get up there, and hopefully we can do that today. And then once you get up to the front, you gotta be great to be leading a lane, but if not, cross your fingers and hope you don't crash.
We talk every time that we come to a super speedway about you trying to get a win here, and I feel like when we do the interviews, you always are like, I'm just not very good at that. Like you play that down a little bit, but I feel like in the races, you run really well, and you were leading the Daytona 500 on the white flag lap and ran out of gas a few years ago. So you run well at all these. You finished 4th at Talladega. What's your mindset? I said on Thursday when I talked about you at these tracks is that we hold you in general, like everyone, to such a high standard when we go to every other racetrack that when we come here, and you kind of downplay that. I mean, what do you think when you get to these places?
I would say back in like my Ganassi days, I really hated it, and
I know you did.
Yeah, I really hated it, and I wouldn't say I like it now, but I don't hate it. And back then I just didn't think that I was good. I think because you could move around more, you could do different things, and I just felt like I was always making the wrong moves. When I have you as a teammate and you're just way up in front of me, I'm like, well,
only suck. There, I can tell you that.
But then I feel like since I've gotten to Hendrick Motorsports and the next-gen stuff, I feel like we have a good understanding of the style of racing that it takes, the style of strategy that it takes. So I do feel like we are well capable of finishing up front or running up front and potentially winning. So I am more confident when we come to these places now, and I would say our average running position in the Cup Series would have to be somewhere in the top 5 group of guys. So just don't have all the finishes to show for it, but I am confident. I'm confident every track we go to, but even the super speedways.
Yeah, and that shows you had the most wins of any driver last year. I know that, and in this case, your teammate won the Daytona 500 last year, William Myron. Jeff Gordon, of course, has had great success here, who you work for with Mr. Hendrick and the Chevrolet crew. You go over advice, do they tell you things, tips, or is it all up to you when you get in that car?
Well, for Jeff, it's been a long time since he's raced.
Ooh, a little stinger right there.
Long time, he's old. But no, so the style when he was racing, it's nothing like that anymore. And then
is the car is it more about, because Danny Hamlin said it's more about the car in this race than the driver, if we're being honest.
I still feel like you can win with any car.
Same people run up front.
Yeah, so it's just to me, it's more of a team. Like your team or your organization, your manufacturer group matters maybe more than it used to. I think, I agree with Denny. I think, he did find a lot of success because, he's very smart and calculated, and he did a really good job. And two, I would say his car also stood out, back then compared to now, where we're all pretty equal on speed and handling and all of that. So, I don't know, it's just different, but, it's still, like you said, it comes down to the same group of guys and same, cross your fingers and hope you don't get caught up in anything.
Well, we've had some of the Ford drivers who they say they're fast. They got a lot of speed. And
they feel really confident.
Yeah, so where are the Chevys and where are you guys in relation to that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Fords have been great. It's speedway racing for a long time. Yeah, so, just like looking at data, you watch the 2 and the 22's throttle as they're in the third lane driving by everybody. They're 60% throttle. Everybody else is 100%, wide open.
Hard to beat that.
Yeah, so I guess, their cars probably stand out, but still it doesn't always matter that you have the fastest car at these places, because a lot of stuff can happen, so you just got to be in the picture at the end and be in the hunt, and you've got a shot.
Well, what about for your fans watching right now, wondering how your car is? You're in a backup car. You mentioned that you got 11 laps. What'd you feel?
Yeah, so I'm in a backup car, and on Friday we were not very fast with it. I felt very draggy, and my balance was kind of tight in the small group that I was in. So was not thrilled then, but they were able to work on it a lot. And then yesterday in practice, I felt way more normal. Speed-wise, I could hang on to a draft if I was in the tail of it. My balance was normal, just only tied off at turn 4. So I felt ready after that. So, and then there in the short laps that we got, it was, you're just saving fuel and riding.
It's early, and I know that Daytona 500 is your focus right now, but we, of course, at Fox will have the Indy 500 coming up in May, and I know you ran in that last year. It was the weather, there were all kinds of issues, but you're going to do that again, right?
Yes.
And how would you describe the experience, and how much do you look forward to that? And what some guys have done it before, but for you, I know it's something that's very important for you to be a well-rounded driver.
No, it was an awesome experience last year, getting to do the Indy 500 and doing everything but run the 600. But yeah, it was just great to be a part of it finally as a competitor. I've been there, I think, one other time as a fan. So yeah, being there as a competitor and living through the experience of the 2 weeks and the crowd and the fans, and I really felt like a fan favorite with attempting to do the double and all that. So it was awesome, and the race itself too is very kind of straightforward, like a next gen race. A lot of kind of reminds me a lot of this. Just a lot of it's difficult to pass. You're saving fuel, so you're trying to just shorten that pit stop. So it wasn't too. There wasn't much I felt like I needed to learn or was different. So I think it was good to go through that experience once, and now hopefully do it again. I'll be ready, more prepared for things, and hopefully the weather will be sunnier than it is right now, and we can get both races in.
Do you do anything different to prepare for it this year? I mean, like I know last year you got to go to Phoenix and run some laps. Do you just go back to Indy the start of the month of May and just start that cycle over again?
Yeah, so last year we did a lot. I felt like to prepare for it because I didn't know what to expect. So I was very happy that we did the Phoenix thing because it felt I could feel the car better and learn kind of its limits better. And then going to Indy, it was pretty simple. It wasn't anything crazy. Like Phoenix was pretty crazy.
Just because it's so fast.
Yeah, small and things are happening quicker. But going back, I think again this year I'm only doing the rookie, or sorry, not, I guess I'll probably have to do some sort of rookie orientation. But in April they have a 2-day thing, so I'll be there for that, and then just the month of May. So nothing crazy. But and two, I think last year I really took the training and the health and stuff more serious than I've ever taken anything before, and it was good to live through the 500 because I felt fresh afterwards. So I felt pretty confident in what I was doing to lead up to that.
That unknown is scary, right?
Yeah, I felt totally fine, ready to go for 600 miles. I got an IV on the flight, but I didn't really feel like I needed one, so I felt like I was pretty prepared.
All right, he'll race anything, anywhere, even the rental car I've seen. No, I'm kidding. Good luck. We're going to be going here. I think it's showing clearing after 5:30, 6 o'clock Eastern time. So we look forward to seeing Kyle Larson in the Hendrick Chevrolet. And earlier today, Jamie McMurray, we showed you Kyle's teammate, William Byron, who won the race last year. Jamie hung out with him in the car.
I was always skeptical of coming here. I was always skeptical of the crashes.
Oh, no! There they go, the big one in 3.
And always skeptical of being close and not winning.
Racing down the short straightaway in the Daytona 500. Blocking on and they're crashing.
Finally being able to capitalize, it just was surreal. Surreal.
William, it's been 1 year since you won the Daytona 500. Chevy has actually given us an opportunity to take the pace car from this year for a lap around, relive those memories. Oh my God, it is pretty quick, isn't it?
That's pretty sweet.
That day, what sticks out to you?
I just felt confident. Just waking up that day just felt super calm and chill. I felt like the race was just super calm for us until the end of the stages, and then obviously the end of the race.
You can feel the intensity really ratcheting it up right here. Calamity, buddy. It is coming.
There's a massive wreck on the backstretch. You barely survived.
Keselowski gets turned by William Byron. The entire pack is collected.
For me, I was just fortunate to come out of it, and then just trying to reset my mind, focusing on the task at hand, which was the restart coming up.
4 laps to go. We're back to green.
You're on the inside, Chastain's on the outside, and all of a sudden, you got to think, I'm in the best position I can be, right?
It was honestly right here.
Chastain, fender out in front, but here comes William Byron.
I was clear. That got me nervous.
William Byron now in control.
What do you remember about this last 200 yards racing to the start-finish line?
I was a sitting duck. Like, I was out on an island and everyone's coming with runs behind me.
Caution is on the speedway. The white flag was in the air.
Did the leader get the white flag?
It's silence on the radio, right?
Yeah, no one's saying anything.
Did we win it? Yeah, boys. Let's go.
Once they come on the radio, is it emotional? Like, what do you think? Like, I just won the Daytona 500.
It was surreal, man. I think I said something like,
We won the race. Are you kidding me?
just chills, like just absolute chills.
What a finish.
That was wild.
You stand here, you do the TV interview, and then your boss, Rick Hendrick, walked out.
That was that full circle moment where he was like, look, this is why we started out together when I was 18 years old. So it was awesome. The magnitude of it afterwards, being like Daytona 500 champion, that's what they refer to you as. They don't refer to you as NASCAR drivers.
You'll always be the
Appreciate it.
2024 Daytona 500 champion, and good luck this year.
Thank you.
From earlier today, William Byron led 3 laps. We were 11 in before the rains came. We're under a delay. It's lightened up. It takes at least 2 hours to drive the track here at Daytona International Speedway. We've got Toyota Tundra track dryers out there. There's 13 of those. We got 16 jet dryers helping as well. At the moment, the rain has lightened up, and again, it's supposed to clear as you see the forecast. You're watching Fox Sports Live, and our coverage of the rain-delayed Great American Race continues with more drivers talking to you in a moment.
This is Alex Pillow, a conquistador of concrete from the start. Alex is so fast he does his taxes January 1st. He speed reads 2 novels before noon. He's Spanish, but'll French kiss on the first date. Alex has traveled the world. Here are his favorite places: Portland, Detroit, Monterey, Portland again, and rent-free in 32 drivers' heads. This is the front of his car, but if you race him, you'll just see the back. This is 3-time IndyCar champ Alex Pillow. Welcome to the fastest racing on earth.
With Pro Plan Sport, incredible happens here. But it starts here. Pro Plan Sport, advanced nutrition for strength and stamina.
Since we started Fetch, America's Rewards app, we've helped people earn over $1 billion in rewards. Our next mission, to help you earn another $1 billion in rewards as fast as we can. You want a free gift card?
Yeah.
What's the catch? There is no catch. You literally get free gift cards for scanning receipts, playing games, or doing your shopping.
Thanks so much. All right.
Download the Fetch app today.
Player of the Year favorite, Cooper Flag, leads third-ranked
One-punch man
against Illinois, who look to shock the nation. Coverage begins Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox Primetime Hoops.
Our first husband and wife team.
I'm not going to hold back just because we're married.
Fox Wednesday.
Let's get it on.
See why the floor is TV's #1 game show.
I got to go big or go off.
And find out
What even is your category, black and white?
That's a great question, Rob.
So mysterious.
who reveals their true colors.
Dalmatian.
Piano.
Dice.
Jolly Roger.
Crossword puzzle.
Checkered flag.
Mint pie. Pass.
You can run, but you can't hide.
The Floor, all new Wednesday on Fox.
This isn't just any race. This is the race. This is Daytona.
Start this thing off right. Got a great shot to win this thing. We got the best
This race never disappoints.
A historic and fabled track where NASCAR's roots run deep. This is a place where legends are born.
Side by side, we just fucking win! Daytona 500, baby!
Where the impossible suddenly becomes possible.
Me looking outside, throwing blocks. Horrific contact.
Generation after generation after generation, racing fans have gathered here to witness NASCAR's finest do what they do best. So yeah, it isn't just a race. This is the Daytona 500.
In a rain delay, after 11 laps, that's the trophy that goes to the winner, the 67th running of the Great American Race, and another Ford driver. His 64, Ryan Preece, is with us. You know that 9 drivers, their first career win came here at the Daytona 500. In fact, Austin Cindrich was the most recent to do it.
Yeah, I did. I've definitely been watching enough of the races. Well, yeah, over the past month, I've just been really taking a deep dive into 22, 23, and 24, and trying to get a better understanding of how do we position ourselves to be in the right place come the end of the race. So, yeah, no, I want to be that next guy.
This is your 6th Daytona 500, because I know you've.
I think it is.
Yeah, your best finish 3rd at a track at Talladega. So obviously, this kind of racing. What are you looking for when you watch these back?
Well, before I would say you want to be in the front, 4 or 5 rows and kind of be ahead of the chaos. But now it seems like the chaos happens in the front 2 rows. So really, it'd be nice to be on the front row in the final closing laps. And but the whole plate racing, everything from when I first started in 2019 to now has just completely changed. So we're going to try and do our best to stick to the strategy that we have, and hopefully it'll be the right one.
Ryan, racing has changed so much. From especially even like when I started, it used to be that you really needed to know the car, and I feel like now drivers don't necessarily know as much about the car. They study about tracks. You just mentioned that. Break that down for us about what you do to prepare for a weekend like Daytona.
Well, you watch Days of Thunder,
Oh, yeah.
That's
Well, why not,
honestly,
right?
That's the best movie.
The emotional
one of the best
edge, right?
movies.
Sugar
Absolutely.
packets, I think, right?
Sugar packets,
Yeah.
and really just driving through the wreck. But things have just completely changed. You got to understand where the bumps are, because we're riding on limiters now, and the cars just drive so rough compared to what they used to, and that's speed. You get used to it, and at the end of the day, us race car drivers, all we care about is a fast race car, and that'll help us be in the position that we want to be in. And that's one thing that I'm really excited about is qualifying day. We were 3rd quick, and this buildsubmarines.com Ford Mustang was stout, and just in the duels didn't quite work out for us, but certainly it set us up for today to follow the strategy and give ourselves a good shot.
What did you learn in the duel that you felt like maybe you did wrong that you want to do differently today?
Well, typically I don't want to be on the bottom because it locks me in. I've just never felt comfortable there. There was one moment that I felt like I probably should have went down. It would have got me, stage points or points, so to speak. But the one thing that comes from all the studying and all the film that I felt like I watched over the past few months is that 3rd lane is what the middle lane used to be for back in the day. That sucker hole, so to speak, right? And I didn't go up and block AJ, and I felt like if I had, this has been eating me alive. And if I did, I felt like that would have gave us an opportunity because we had such a fast car. So, I think you just need to understand every situation and how the race is playing out and adjust accordingly.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, watching that race, I'm with you on that. The 3rd lane doesn't seem to ever work, and Justin Allgaier is trying to make it in the race, and he gets up there numerous times, and you're like, that's not the place to go. But it was on that last lap, so it's really hard to ever be able to predict it.
Yeah, and you want to know, I saw AJ go up, I think it was 2 laps prior, and I said, all right, there's another row.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm waiting for Bubba and Tyler to kind of break away and move down and kind of shuffle the outside order, and that would have put us in a great spot. And it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
We can do all the planning we want, but it doesn't always work that way.
Well, which leads me to, I think it was the August race here, right? 23 Daytona, where you were involved in in the backstretch, a massive crash. I don't know if we have that video if you even want to see it, but you survived it. Yeah. And so I bring that up because people who don't do this for a living, what you do, are like, man, the fear factor, the reality of what can happen when you're trying to win a race.
Yeah, I point to you, Jamie, to be honest with you, because you're a race car driver, and for us, for an average fan that hasn't ever had an accident, they don't think about it, right? And when they do have that accident, they're like, man, that's a really big deal. For us, we grew up racing, so the opportunity for an accident is it's always there.
Yeah.
So when that happens, you kind of shake it off. Well, I think it really took about a month for it to to understand how severe that wreck really could have been. And obviously, I'm thankful for that. And obviously, every Rolex fan, they let me know that we paved the whole backstretch because of this.
That's just amazing that you walk away. Were you sore at all? I mean, you had to be a little beat up or rattled.
No.
No? That's amazing.
I focus on a lot of different areas in my racing career, and I feel like I want to have a little meat on my bones. So in a moment like this, my body can absorb it.
Do you remember? Do you remember anything about that wreck? Like, do you remember opening your eyes and seeing the flip or a certain impact? And the reason I ask is I flipped at Talladega, and I remember barrel rolling, and I had my eyes closed, and I thought it was over, and I opened them for just a second, and I was like, it's not over yet. And all I could think was, please land on the tires so I can get out.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. It was, I guess, for the fan, Talladega Nights, kind of when Ricky Bobby, he's flipping and he's having that moment. It's just super slow.
It does, right?
It really does. And that, for what seemed like, I don't know, 6 or 7 seconds watching it on TV, it felt like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys talk about fire. They used to fear that more, but I guess the fire suits are pretty good now, right? As long as you get out of
Nobody
the car.
wants to be on fire.
So,
I'm telling you
no,
right now, that's the biggest fear of anything is to get trapped inside
how
of
long
there.
did, Jamie, how long did it take you? I was interested. They said it took a month, to realize I remember you were covering you at the time. You were rattled after that. How long did it take you to
I remember that mine happened in happy hour, and of course the car's destroyed. Right. They had to pull it back up out, and I had to start the race the next day. And I remember for 10 laps of the race, like hearing, I'd blown a tire out is what happened. We were too low on air pressure. And I remember hearing the rocks hit the crush panel, and I'm like, man, is that the tire coming? I was a little paranoid. Yeah, okay. You are. But when you get competitive, you just forget about that. You get in the middle of it, and you don't think about that when you're out on the track.
And that's much like we talked about how rough these race cars are, and you'll come in from a practice session or qualifying, and you'll get asked that question like, hey, how rough is it, or whatever, like last year.
No idea.
I don't know. It didn't really bother me, So, you just adjust as a race car driver, and you just focus on other things.
Yeah, no, thanks for addressing. I know we appreciate the risk of what you guys you make it look easy. Well, good luck out there. The goal is to get racing later today and
tonight. That's a good sign.
I mean, yeah, that's
hear it.
right.
Yeah.
You're hearing the dryers go, and hopefully the rain will lighten up. So good luck to you. Thanks. All right, you take care. Ryan Preece with us. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
I'm joined by Elio Castroneves making his first ever Daytona 500 start. And Elio, your first try in a stock car. It's been a wild week. You felt some major wrecks. You finished 5th in the ARCA race yesterday and still wrecked afterwards. But today, you've made up 20 positions already. How's the experience been in the short amount of time you've been out there?
Well, first of all, it's been absolutely incredible. I've been to a lot of major races, and wow, this is incredible. And the energy is so amazing. Just the start of the race. And it was my first time going on the third lane today, so I'm like, okay, let me follow here. I think it was Truex and Jimmy. I was like, those guys, they have experience, so it was good to try it out. I saw the middle lane. I was like, should I try that? Not really, not yet. But it's just understanding the car, what to do with this weather, with this wind, and obviously everybody's half throttle, so all seems to be under control. And but so far so good, and let's keep working together.
Elio, you have such a fan following, and for different reasons. You won 2007 Dancing with the Stars, so you can dance. There it is right there. You're a 4-time Indy 500 champion. I mean, on all the things you've done, why did you decide you wanted to come and try NASCAR?
Look, opportunity like this doesn't happen very often. When Project 91 and Trackhouse decided to, with this program, which has been incredible, bringing amazing talents, amazing drivers. So for me, it was a no-brainer to come to one of the biggest races of the world and learn and have opportunity. And for you to become a better race car driver, what do you need to do? You need to drive cars, different cars. And I never drove a Cup cars. This is a great opportunity, and I'm having a blast.
So the other night in the dual race, you're trying to learn the draft, get that feel. Take us through what happened. That was a hard hit.
Yeah, so what happened is I was trying to avoid when I saw the crash happen so fast. I hit the guy in the bottom, obviously right there, bent my rear toe link, and instead of going slow, I was trying to learn so quick that I came here, and unfortunately I hit the wall really hard. And in the ARCA race, I was just trying to avoid. I said, guys, I'm trying to learn here to race, and I'm just avoiding accidents. But in the end of the day, Pinnacle Racing did a phenomenal job fixing everything. And in the end, the guy behind me, he didn't have a radio, so he thought the race is still going. I'm like, what's going on here? So, it's great to be talking to my friends for AMR, but guys, I'm done. Okay, let's just keep a nice and smooth today, and hopefully we're gonna have a great finish.
All right, that's Elio Castroneves. One last question for you, though. When you come over here, you don't just jump in and go. The vocabulary is different. Loose, tight, oversteer, understeer, it's all different. How are you adapting to the language when they talk to you about the race car and how to set it up?
Yeah, it's been quite a different language, especially a guy from Brazil, that his English, they're still getting better. It's very different language, and but so far, my spotter Eric and Darren is a 500 winner, and he's been in this position before, so he knows the very slow step and how to approach very calm. And you can see him a little bit energized. So sometimes him and I actually a great mix. So, but just talking to a lot of the drivers, talking to a lot of my teammates. So when I make a decision, when I explain what the car is happening, so they can make a move and change something fast.
All right, that's Elio Castroneves, the race car driver, not the employee at Wendy's, but it looks nice.
Please, employee of the month, Frosty. I'm telling you, the chocolate. Oh,
with French fries.
You keep the French fries.
Regan.
Elio Castroneves' teammate Ross Chastain. Ross, I got to ask you, they were just discussing and talking about the lingo and helping Elio understand the words and how it's different in NASCAR than IndyCar. Have you helped him out with that at all? What have you had to tell him so far this week?
Save fuel. That's the name of the game. He's a professional, so he knew what he was doing when he came over here. Now the drafting stuff is stuff he just has to learn on his own, and we told him that early on that he just needed to get into the duel, and I wish he had more laps, but obviously a lot of experience through the ARCA race. Some good, some not so good, but just getting laps around here and feeling the air, I think, is the best thing he could be doing.
Let's talk about your day so far. Early on in the race, really seemed like the one car took a run to the front almost immediately, much like what happened in the duels the other night. It seems like you've had a ton of speed. What is the strength right now of that car?
Well, it was not qualifying, so we're still trying to finish that lap. I think that thing was not good by itself, but yes, like you said, in the draft and pushing, I feel like I can dictate a lot and while saving fuel. So right there, I was following Ty in the 10 and was fine to be part throttle, and really didn't even want to see those guys get up, the front two guys in our bottom row, get up to the middle lane, but it's all worked out fine. So it's just a balance, but I'm able to stay right up there at part throttle, so hats off to Trackhouse, and they got it driving better. So in the past, it's like I say, my car has been pretty bouncy or aggressive on the stops, on the bump stops, on the springs and shocks, bottoming out, which was intentional, but it was a handful for me to drive, but I'd kind of gotten used to it, and then the other drivers that I would draft with would kind of comment to me, and we've gotten it up and gotten it driving better, just to be more stable. So now we've got to work through the balance of that. We had gotten used to the balance of the old car or the old setup, and now we've went a different path. So that's a very, very low bar to explain it, like a lower car and higher car, but the Busch Light Chevy pushes well and actually gets pushed pretty well too.
Okay, I gotta ask you about a tweet. Is there a tweet with you maybe making a weird face or something like that perhaps happened recently?
That's right, there is. Yeah, I saw that little guy walking out of the driver's meeting room, and I just asked, like, man, can I get a picture? This is awesome. And, you see stuff through social media, but when you actually get to make the connection in person, it means a lot more for me. So I've learned, I guess over the couple of years I've been doing this, that like, take the opportunity, take the picture. I just, leaving the Super Bowl media day, I could have taken a picture with Venus Williams, and like, I regret not doing it now. Like, I had the opportunity on it. So I was leaving the Super Bowl going, take the picture, like, take the opportunity. So the Riz right there, yeah, strike a pose and do it.
I think somebody else is taking the opportunity right now, because Josh Shims has Noah Gregson and maybe somebody else right now, Josh?
Yeah, speaking of it, it's the man of the hour, the Rizzlers over here hanging out with Noah Gregson. Noah Gregson, you got a new fan over here.
Yeah, the Rizzler, we've been hanging out, opening up some Panini NASCAR cards, checking out the cards.
Yeah, thanks for signing these gloves.
Got some gloves for the Rizzler. This is a king right here. We're having some fun, enjoying this rain delay here at the Daytona 500. And my sponsor, Rusty Rush, he was saying that he knows who the most mature one. Here's Rusty right here. Who's the most mature one?
That one.
He's saying the Rizzler is the most mature one. So should we hit a Riz face for the camera?
gotta love that. Always wondering where the place to be during a rain delay is, and it's always your hauler. I know that right away. So what's this day been like for you? Not just obviously hanging out with the Rizzler right now, but Daytona 500 day with a new team too.
It's always really special to come down here to Daytona and just be at the racetrack. Nonetheless, do it for the Daytona 500. The atmosphere here on race day, we have probably the most busy schedules all year today. Meeting everyone, going out to the merchandise hauler, signing autographs, and then pre-race starts, going to the driver's meeting. Driver intros is always a blast, and how about the Thunderbirds? Those are pretty insane too. So it's the Great American Race. It's the biggest one of the year for a reason, and you can feel that presence today.
All right, so for you, the Rizzler, can you teach me the Riz face, please? Can you show me? Can we all do it?
First, you got suck in like this, and then you gotta raise your eyebrow up like this, and then you do it all together, and that's how you do the Riz face.
You got any girlfriends?
I used to.
Used to?
Yeah.
How many girlfriends?
Like 4.
You used to manage 4 at a time?
Yeah.
All right, I need you to do one thing for me. Say, Chris Myers, do the Riz face.
Chris Myers, do the Riz face.
All right, sorry, Riz. Oh, well, okay. Well, you got a little mop in there. I don't really do the Riz. But,
Chris, you're so excited. You got that solo shot right there.
That's the first single I had the entire afternoon. There you go. Are we on yet? No. Hey, the Rizzler, by the way, 8-year-old social media star, celeb from New Jersey. And speaking of New Jersey, I don't know if Dave Portnoy is watching, but Jersey Jerry is here. I think Rico Bosco, big NASCAR fans are here. And we have the guy who won the race last year, William Byron, and his Hendrick Chevrolet. And actually, let's talk about, I know it's a whole new year, right? But this never gets old watching this.
Yeah, it's that's not a good highlight, but everything else is good about that day. So it was
you had to overcome a lot. Obviously, it doesn't start out exactly the way you want.
Yeah, no, it was that day was just really special, and you know, anytime you can get to victory lane here at Daytona is huge. But winning the Daytona 500 really changed my life. So it was a cool experience last year.
And you've already had a few laps led today. And obviously we're stopping, and it looks like we're going to get back at it soon. So how did it feel out there, and what are you anticipating once you get to racing again?
My car felt good. You know, we're not really pushing the pace yet. Like we're kind of saving fuel, and there was a little bit of pressure from the third lane, so we're starting to go a little bit faster there. But it's so early in the race. You're just trying to really get through the first opening laps, kind of get the cobwebs knocked off and feel comfortable. And my car feels really comfortable. So I feel like this is one of the best speedway cars I've had in a while. Just the ability to get pushed and have that amount of speed to stay up front. So so far so good, but it's early and just got to get through you know, the first stage and get rolling.
Yeah, speaking of your car, the car that you won with last year, they took from you. You haven't seen it, and we saw that you actually got that back today. What's that like? I saw you peek inside and look at it to see if it was any different.
Yeah, I just honestly wanted to remember what it was like on the inside of the car, because a lot changes, you know, your positions of mirrors and your seat changes and everything like that. So it's just neat to relive that, because that's the last time I'll get a chance to see it. So I was kind of like a little kid there, just reliving that, and it was fun to be there with Mr. Hendrick and Jeff and everybody. So yeah, last year was a great memory.
Where's that going from now? Like, we'll go to a museum somewhere? Or?
Man, I have no idea. Yeah. I'm sure they'll do something with that. You know, this sport changes pretty fast, so I don't think that car being a backup car last year is going to have any purpose this year. So I'm sure it's not one of our best cars, but yeah, I'm sure it'll go somewhere cool.
Why does your teammate Alex Bowman call you the babyface assassin?
I don't know. That's
a terrible nickname.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but yeah. I mean,
I think I would read it as you look at it, but you know, you'll do anything to win.
I guess I have young skin.
That kind of.
Yeah.
Hey,
that will pay off later in life. I promise.
Well,
Chris knows.
You were an Eagle Scout, right? And I love the story. I know it's been told, but for those that may be tuning in that don't follow as often, your career began really iRacing. Describe how that unfolded, and when you first started, did you do it thinking, hey, I'm gonna be a driver. This is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah, I was just at home all the time just racing, you know, and I would race 24/7 to the point where like I didn't want to do anything else. I would just come home, race on my simulator, and that's what I love to do. And so I think that's, you know, my passion for racing started well before iRacing, but iRacing was kind of that platform that I could use to get involved in the driving side, and ended up winning a bunch of races, and then just once I got into a race car for the first time, things just clicked. Like I didn't know how to do anything else besides just race the car and go around the racetrack fast. So it just clicked.
You like this type of racing? Like you've won 4 times on drafting style racetracks here, Talladega or Atlanta.
Yeah.
We had Larson on just a second ago, and he obviously doesn't get overly excited when you come to these. You like this?
I honestly don't love it, but I've learned
Why?
to.
Like what is it?
It's just it's not a lot in your control. You feel like from from sitting in the, like sitting and looking at it from a broad view, you're like, man, there's so much out of my control. So for a long time, I didn't look forward to coming to these races. And then I figured out the things that I could control, and I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on that. No matter what the result is, I will, do a good job in whether it's blocking or just learning how to be pushed or push. So I think there's so many things you can control, but you can't really control the results. You have to throw that out and just say to yourself, did I do the best job I could do in these different areas? And you can tell the guys that really, are good at it, and the guys that can embrace it and use it as an advantage.
How will you use your time? I don't know, right now, some iRacing in between or go over
Coast
video?
snacks. I was killing the snacks in the motorhome.
What's the go-to?
I had goldfish, I had peanuts, and those little, I had some chocolates too. So
say if you come back out here, Myers and I, we like chocolate.
Yeah.
We're big,
Give you guys some.
big chocoholics. All right, so going back to back, obviously a lot of responsibility, and then Denny Hamlin, the last one to do it. It's not easy. It's been a while.
Yeah.
What's the approach? I know you've talked about strategy, but it changes a little bit as the weather has changed.
It's tough. I mean, I think that you've got to get to the end of this race to win. So we could easily get caught up in a wreck, or we could be the wreck or whatever,
right,
before the end of the race. So it's a lot of hype and a lot of energy going into this race and thinking, man, I could win this race, but I'm just focused on the process, and it's we've just got to get to the end of the event, and with 10 laps to go, you'll probably have an idea of whether you're in contention to win, and hopefully we're in that grouping.
And you start out with who you're going to be working with. Obviously you have teammates and other Chevy drivers, but then that changes, correct? And
it does. You just find your friends. It's honestly, it becomes a weird cast of characters. Like last year at the end of the race, it was myself, Ross Chastain, Bowman, and I think Cindric. And Cindric ended up, being a really good pusher, and the Fords are really good at pushing. So it's just trying to figure out, who you're going to be around. Obviously, they don't want to work with you typically because you're a different manufacturer.
But at the end, everybody just...
At the end, it's just, you're just kind of with a different group almost every time, it seems like. It came down to the fall race at Talladega, and it was a totally different group there. So it just depends.
All right, William Byron, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. During our rain delay at the Daytona 500, they are drying the track, and it usually, even with the sun, maybe 2 hours if the rain stops, but they've got quite a bit out there, so they've been drying for a while. Hopefully we'll be racing within the next hour. It certainly clears out of here for sure around the 5:30, 6 o'clock hour. That's Eastern time at Daytona Beach. Let's check in again with Josh Sims. Josh?
I'm over here with Ty Dillon, led 3 laps already today, so I know you're itching to go back racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Our Grizzly nicotine pouches Chevy has been fast all week. We got that cool Grizzly on the hood, and it's wanted to eat out front. It's been pretty fun. A good qualifying lap. The duels, we were really strong, and it's just been so fun to be a part of Kaulig Racing, and everything we've put into racing, the few races I ran with them last year, we've just compounded. We just added to our team, and everyone's worked obviously so hard to build speed in our race cars. So just so happy to be a part of it. This is just the start of the year, but it's a big moment to have our Chevy out front leading races, and man, it's I've been coming down here. This is my 9th 500, but I've sat at home for a couple, and that's really a hard thing to do. I sat with my wife, and it gives you great perspective, and you never look back on those moments in disappointment when you get to have another chance again. So I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to run another Daytona 500, to lead laps, and have a chance at racing for my dreams with Kaulig Racing.
Yeah, and speaking of that, what's it like to be with Kaulig, have a teammate like the Dinger to talk to bounce ideas off of, and be back up here in Cup, like you said?
AJ's been awesome. We've only got a couple races under our belt, but we've been in the simulator a little bit and just been around the shop. I know AJ is going to push me to be the best I can be. AJ is a guy that I respect so much because he fights not only off the track, but he's fought for his career, same way I have. And I am excited to go to the road courses with him, try to learn from him. But I know every racetrack we're going to go to, he's going to push me to be the best I can, and I hope I can return that favor to him. And the ultimate goal is to get Kaulig Racing into victory lane, get ourselves in the championship. They deserve it. They've done it before, and I believe in myself that we can do it again.
So obviously they're drying the track. That's a good sign, but it's going to take a little bit. So what will you be doing over the next hour plus?
Well, I got 3 kids, so it's nothing really gets too calm around us. So we're gonna hang out on the bus, kind of spend some time with them. It's been a fun weekend. My son is 4, my daughter is 7, so they're really enjoying being here in Daytona, and we've had a blessed weekend so far. So hope it continues.
Ty Dillon, 3-lap sled so far here in the Daytona 500.
And I'm with Justin Allgaier now. Been a lot of talk about this, man, and what you went through, and your boss man, Dale Earnhardt Jr. They're fielding their first entry in the Daytona 500. First off, what's this week been like in the range of emotions?
It's super stressful. Anytime, you have Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to make their debut Cup Series start, and to know the pressure and stress of that, and Kelly Earnhardt Miller and everybody that's a part of Junior Motorsports. We've obviously had a lot of success on the Xfinity Series side, but this series and this sport is so tough, and just the differences between the cars and what we've had to try to adapt to. It's been really crazy, but to have Dale and Kelly and Chris Stapleton on the grid this afternoon, and just the atmosphere here, it's been really electric, and it's been highly emotional until today. And today is like, we're just going to have fun, and it's been a pretty calm. However many laps we've made, 11 laps. It's been pretty calm, but at the same time, our car drives really good. Greg Ives did a great job of making the car drive better, and it's a beautiful race car. Traveler Whiskey and the color scheme on our car has been really, really beautiful. So I just hate it that all of our fans at home that are watching on Fox, all the fans that are here, this weather is it's definitely a bummer, but maybe they'll get it dried up as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and we'll go back racing and go have some fun.
Heck yeah, we're going to go back racing. As you can see, we're standing out here, no umbrellas, so we're going to get back to it. I have to ask you, though, the other night, Dale Jr., you've worked for him for a long time. You just gave him a championship in the Xfinity Series. The other night, he teared up in the interview after you qualified. Has that surprised you, just his commitment and love and passion for being here?
It hasn't surprised me in the fact that Dale is an immeasurable ambassador for this sport, right? He loves the sport, the history of where it's come from, and that embrace right there, I could just feel the emotion. Pre-race, when he came over, it's the nervous I've ever seen Dale, and he wants to succeed not only for himself, but all the fans that supported him over the years, and our race team, and it's been a special week, and to see Kelly out there and LW and really our entire group, it's been amazing. Having my wife and kids here, it's been 10 years since I ran the Daytona 500, and I was pretty confident I was never going to get back here. So it's been really, really cool. And again, we talked about Traveler Whiskey all week and coming on board, but without them, this whole program doesn't happen. Junior Motorsports doesn't make their debut, and that's a big deal. I think it's something that for me is gone way beyond just racing this one race. It's really been cool. So I'm excited to get the season started off. We didn't have the run we wanted last night, so the only way to make that better is to go have an even better run today.
Absolutely. Hey, when you walked up, you took something out of your mouth. Explain what this is. We're always talking about innovation, safety innovations, and information, right? What do you gain from wearing this during the race?
Well, it's kind of gross. I feel bad. One of the things NASCAR is trying to do is obviously, not only improve the sport on the racetrack, but outside the racetrack as well. And with Wake Forest, they've had these mouthpieces that a lot of the drivers wear. You'll see them put them in and out. You'll see them a lot. It's been really cool to be a part of this program and get to see the data that we're able to collect from what's going on inside the car with our bodies. And this is just one piece of hundreds of things that we've been innovating over the last couple of years. And when I pulled it out, you said, you don't have to do that, you don't have to take that out. And I said, it's kind of gross to wear it in an interview because I don't talk quite as well as I would like to, but really cool to see, the technological advances that we're making in this sport. And, hats off to NASCAR. We've as drivers, we've all been probably a little critical of how these cars crash, and they've gone to work and they're trying to make it better and better for all the drivers and for the teams. And, that's all we can really ask for, right? And we want to put the best product on the racetrack that we can for the fans that come and support us. And, it goes even further to what goes on off the racetrack too. So it's been pretty cool.
So well spoken. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you. Same.
All right. So our Regan Smith was hanging out. He's hanging out with Bowman. You've been all over the place. Where are you, Regan?
Jamie, I am running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I did find Alex Bowman, so that's a good thing. We were just talking to one of the Junior Motorsports drivers right now, and Alex, you got a good relationship with Dale Jr. How cool is it to see him having a car out here in the field right now?
Yeah, that's been super cool. Obviously got Greg Ives spinning the wrenches on it, so
spent a lot of time working with Greg, and cool to see him back on a Cup car. And yeah, excited for them to make the show. Obviously, another Chevy partner out there is never bad to have either.
Okay, enough about that. Let's talk about you now, because that's what I want to know about in a backup car from the duels the other night. I know you guys had to do a lot of work. Blake Harrison, the whole team did a fantastic job getting that thing ready. Looks like it's been pretty good so far on the racetrack for you.
Yeah, for sure. These guys haven't stopped working really since we crashed in the duel. It's been garage open to garage close every day, all they've got just to try to get this thing ready. Obviously, with the rules and everything, the cars aren't completely ready. So just a lot of work to get it there. And Friday, we were kind of slow, not where we wanted to be, and we got a lot better yesterday. So far, so good. Kind of hard to tell as far back in the field as we are, but Blake and George and all the guys, I feel like have got a good idea. Obviously, the weather's changing and different things are happening, but yeah, this was really not super fun to be a part of. It's kind of along for the ride at that point, got shoved into it, and around she went. So yeah, bummer. That car was really good. A lot of effort put into that car, and unfortunately, don't get to race it, but this other one's pretty good too.
Describe to everybody listening and watching right now, you know, as you're heading towards the wall right there in a wreck like that, and we saw you lock them up initially, and then you release the brake trying to get it to steer. When you know that it's not going to steer, you're knowing it's going to the wall. What are you thinking as a driver in that moment?
Yeah, like I got off the brake trying to get it to turn right. Like, I don't know, you're like 50-50. Sometimes they will, and sometimes they just won't, and it just wouldn't. It was stuck and sliding that direction, and at that point you just got to lock it down and know that there's not much you can do. So bummer. Obviously sometimes you can save those, and unfortunately we weren't able to. So yeah, a good bit of damage to the left front. So now we're on car number 2.
Jamie, just a minute ago when we started talking, was talking to Justin Allgaier. What, you know what his nickname is? Or what's his nickname?
His nickname? Yeah. It's Little Gator. Little Gator.
Well, I think we're going to go to something right now that involves a big gator from a couple days ago.
Okay.
Hi, we're here at the Daytona Aquarium and Rainforest Adventure with 2022 Daytona 500 champion, Austin Cindric. Austin, I don't know what we've got planned right now. I know that something in here bites.
Regan's scared of fish.
You're way braver than me. I'm scared of fish. I'm scared of a lot of stuff here.
This guy's hungry.
You go first. Oh, that one. What?
That was wild.
No.
That was wild. Do it.
I don't want to commit when he's making eye contact with me. Oh, boy. I almost lost a finger in that.
Nice work. Nice work.
Oh, no. Hungry. This is like you guys on the damn racetrack. You're all a bunch of alligators.
Mary, come!
That's how Wilson talks to me whenever I'm not doing the right thing. It's usually when I'm still in the high lane trying to get down to pit and he's freaking out because I'm going to run out of fuel.
I'll make a deal with you, Austin. 2022 as a rookie, you win the Daytona 500. If you win the 2025, I'll come back and pet the alligator.
Deal?
Deal.
See you Monday.
All right, Austin is going to make Regan pay up on that bet if he can pull off another Daytona 500. Nice to have you joining us, and already led a lap today in the first 11. We will race at some point. We just don't know when. They're getting word, and the rain is clearing out of here, so maybe prime time, whatever it takes. So we'll see you back out there. When you did win that Daytona 500 your rookie year, I don't think you really led until like 3/4 of the race, right? And then all of a sudden you were in position to capture it. Describe a little bit about how that day went and what it takes to be there at the end and win it.
Yeah, when I think of that day, so much was new in our sport. You know, for me, it was first time driving the 2-car, first year in the series, but also the first year of this car. And there hadn't been 40 cars on track ever at the same time. So the way the pack goes, how you have to, you know, understand the runs and what happened. You had to be very adaptable, very open-minded, and really understand what it was going to take to make that all plausible. Whereas now I feel like the racing is now so much more refined. I think the driver that was able to succeed in that race is barely participating in today's race. So it's going to be very important, you know, to keep that evolution going. But as things have evolved with this type of racing, you know, those things that day, you know, have been important for other races at Talladega or at Atlanta, or as we've moved on, you know, 3 years on. And you know, it's obviously really exciting. It was about a 2-month beard, a little less than that, right after the banquet.
How long did you keep it?
So I had the beard all the way up until we had a team photo production day. I was never going to keep it, but I shaved it all. I feel like it's part of the male experience to, like, if you have a beard, you shave it and see what the mustache
in
looks
sections,
like.
right? Or,
Yeah,
right.
In pieces, and being able to have that, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to show up tomorrow early, get some professional photography taken, at least make my mom nervous or something, put it on the internet.
We were all nervous.
It was awesome. It was my ego was not going to be able to handle having that for more than the 8 hours that I had it.
Can we see that again? Because I thought it was more the mustache, I think, right, in that picture than, I mean, you look like Inspector Clouseau or
He looks like Bobby Rahal.
So, there's a nice
That's who you look like.
I got compared to Bobby Rahal and Dale Earnhardt all day on Twitter, and I can't think of two better people to be compared to.
All right, so what is the best way to describe your game face when we get back racing?
I've always said my game face is a smile. I'm not too different, so I'm just ready to get going. We've been here since Tuesday, and we get a little taste of that race there, 11 laps or something like that. But yeah, ready to get back to it. Obviously, such a huge build-up with everything. Obviously, having the President of the United States here, an awesome race, and been waiting all off-season to get the season started.
Yeah, and now we got to restart it once the dryers move through here. Talk a little bit about your teammates. Obviously, with Penske, they've had great success, and both have been champions in the sport, and Logano champion times over with Ryan Blaney.
Well, I think I've got two of the best, and two of the best rabbits to really chase. I've been in the Cup Series for 3 years, and every year my teammate's been the champion, which as an athlete, as a competitor, that's somewhat challenging, but at the same time, I wouldn't have it any other way, because I know that I'm learning and chasing after the best. And when you come to tracks like this, I mean, you think of those guys as guys that can go win this race, and I'm going to have to elevate myself to that level each week. But it's a style of racing that I think the three of us have all figured out quite well with this car. So I've got three of the best as teammates, but also three of the best guys that can help one of us pull this off for Roger and the team.
We've interviewed a lot of drivers today, and I feel like everyone that's had a Ford has been like, my car is really good. You obviously feel the same way. We saw you and your